fans, to announce our next pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, the Green Bay Packers would like to welcome Cindy Van Breedy of Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
With the 11th pick of the 5th round, the Green Bay Packers choose 147th overall, Brett Hundley, the quarterback from UCLA.
All right, so Brett Hundley, if UCLA is now off the board, and if his first play for the Packers is anything like his first play for the Bruins, I think Green Bay will be very happy when it's all said and done, because he started off with a bang here.
Oh, he did. I think you're looking at a kid who was very talented. 40 career starts. You have 69.1% this past year, 66.8 in 2013. Touchdown interception ratio this past year, 22.5. Talking about rushing touchdowns, 9 this past year, 11 in 2013. So what's the issue? The issue is a lack of pocket awareness. Think about a guy who was sacked 10 times against Utah, 4 times by Nate Orchard in early October. Now he got better as the season went along. Now he's accurate, but he's not precise. Ball placement at times a little off, makes it difficult for the receiver. You think about a guy who's just got that clock in his head. He's got to get it moving a little quicker, get the ball outside. There's some things from a coaching standpoint he's got to react to.
And I thought he improved his mechanics and his balance as a passer from 2012, and as a result, his accuracy. He didn't throw an NFL route tree at UCLA to a certain degree. A lot of comeback routes, a lot of screens underneath, a lot of shorter throws to the outside. He was accurate on those throws, but anytime a throw required anticipation before the receiver broke and over the middle of the field is where I found he had the most trouble, and I completely agree with the pocket mobility. On one hand, he is mobile, he's a very good athlete, and he's tough too. He'll hang in. It's not about being afraid of staring down the gun barrel. That's not it at all. It's just his natural instinct. When pressure comes, it's for his eyes to drop, and he's got to break that habit. If he does, he's got a chance because he's got all the tools, Bill, but a lot of bad habits that he's got to work through at the next level.
The 2 most important things a quarterback has to do in the NFL, and Rodgers does both of them in an outstanding fashion, is be accurate with the ball and process quickly. Processing quickly leads to that anticipation, the ability to lead the receiver rather than have it behind him and make it a difficult catch. Hundley has to improve in both of those areas.
And this is a great situation for him because he doesn't have to play now. And you look at it and say, well, he's got all this game experience. He has these habits that he has to break, and this is a good spot for him to sit back, learn the offense, and work on some of the mechanical things that he has to do and retrain his eyes.
The first week on campus at UCLA, someone asked him if you were the savior because of all the problems that the Bruins program has had. He's not going to be the savior in Green Bay. Interestingly, this pick comes 10 years after Aaron Rodgers was picked and had to wait behind Brett Favre. Now, as we all know, famously or infamously, Brett Favre didn't really care about mentoring Aaron Rodgers at that point. How do you think Aaron Rodgers should approach the idea of Brett Hundley perhaps being his eventual replacement?
Well, Brett Hundley is not the savior. He needs to be a disciple, and he needs to follow.
That's why you're so good. That's why he's so good. That right there.
He needs to follow among the best quarterbacks in the history of the game and work with him on a technique basis. Rodgers is as clean and neat a technician as there is in the game, and especially outside the pocket. And the thing Hundley can do is get outside the pocket and make plays. So
much like Aaron.
Yes, in the West Coast system, he's from the West Coast too, but no pun intended. But the West Coast system, mobility is a plus, but he's got to get processed faster and be more accurate.
I thought what Mel said was interesting there. He's accurate but not precise. Would you agree with that?
I agree
and explain the differentiation for people.
Because when you process quickly and you have anticipation, you put the ball out in front of the receiver. You put it in a precise place where he can catch it and run after the catch. That is the basis of the West Coast offense. They use big receivers who can run through tackles. He's not very precise with the ball, especially, as Todd said, over the middle of the field. And he's got to get better with that.
Missing within the strike zone in Major League Baseball can cause you a home run, allow a home run. And missing within the strike zone as a quarterback can prevent 5, 7, 10, 12 yards after the catch. And that to me is the difference between the precision and just being accurate.
And we'll see how that shakes out. For more on this pick and the curious factor of how Green Bay chose Brett Hundley, let's go back to insider Chris Mortensen. Morton.
Well, you mentioned just the fact that, the technician that certainly that you didn't mention his name, but Mike McCarthy, the head coach of the Green Bay Packers, is traditionally the Packers like quarterbacks with large hands. John Schneider of Seattle even took that philosophy with him to the Seahawks when he became their general manager. Russell Wilson, plus 10-inch hands. Brett Favre, huge hands. Aaron Rodgers, huge hands. Brett Hundley, 10.5-inch hands. And Mike McCarthy believes it's not just because you play in cold weather, it's just for having better control over the football. And they have a program developing quarterbacks to take great pride in. And Hundley is a developmental quarterback, but he fits the measurables specifically in that area of having the large hands.
All right, he's got man hands, is what Chris Mortensen is trying to tell us. Brett Hundley was sacked more than any other quarterback the last 3 seasons. That escapability is something that he needed to survive at UCLA. The draft continues from Draft Town in Chicago now that Hundley's off the board.